Well, it's a tremendous privilege for me to be here with you today. A tremendous privilege. I am much older than most of you and have probably walked with Christ longer than some of you have been alive. When I look out over a group of young people like yourself, there's great joy. At the same time, there is tremendous burden. As you walk with Christ and become a minister of Christ, you begin to see the great dangers that exist in the world, how this is not a game. You also grow in your passion to see the church presented to Jesus Christ as a spotless, stainless, pure virgin. Your great desire is for the holiness of God's people, to see salvation worked out properly in its three tenses, that you have been saved, justified, and that if you have been saved, justified, you are being sanctified. That God is working in you to perfect that which He has begun, and then to ultimately see you glorified. But I look out over you today and I can tell you this: you are wrong. You are so wrong about so many things. Yes, you are wrong about so many things. You are. Now, do I say that as a legalistic, judgmental preacher? No. In the almost 30 years that I've walked with Christ, I am amazed how even today, more so now than in my younger years, I realize that I am wrong. That I am so much a product of my culture rather than Scripture. And I'm here to tell you, it's not that I walked in this room here today and I saw things that were wrong or flagrant violations of the Word. No. It wasn't that I didn't approve of the worship. I enjoyed the worship. I'm just here to tell you that the beginning of walking with God is to know that you have come forth from a twisted, dislocated people. That in order to truly walk with God, you must be changed in your thinking. You must be renewed in your mind. You must begin to conform your life to the Scripture rather than the culture, which has so much great a hold on you, far greater than what you could ever imagine. I would that you would be holy. But for you to be holy, you must know what that means. And the only way to know what that means is through the Scriptures. I would that you be holy, but it takes more than just a man's wish. There has to be a proper motivation to that holiness. And I'll tell you what that is. It is Jesus Christ. I sometimes feel like a prisoner. A prisoner. Chained in every place. Around wrist, shackles around feet. A prisoner of Christ. That the more I come to know Him, the more that the love of Christ constrains and pushes and demands and inflames the heart. You see, thus far I have told you that there's so much about you that is wrong. Conform to your culture instead of being conformed to the Word. Now I've changed the theme and I've told you this, but in order to break free from that, you need a motivation. You need something more than a pep rally and a pep talk. You need something more than a conference or a conference speaker. You must grow in your knowledge of who God is and what God has done for you in the person of Jesus Christ. And the more, if your heart has truly been regenerate, if your heart has truly been renewed by the Spirit of God, if you have truly been converted, the more you will know about Christ, the more Christ will captivate you, and most of the problems resolve. I would pray that the Spirit of God would show you Christ in such a way that you would become a captive, not to the lusts of your own flesh, not to the prince of the power of the air, not to this wretched, vile world in which you live, but that you would become a captive of Jesus Christ, no longer belonging to yourself, but belonging to Him.